good day.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us for KARE 11 News at Noon. We've got a lot happening right now. Voting is now open for a special election that could shape the state Senate. We're also still keeping track of the rocky start to the session, including ongoing tensions in the state house. Plus, the mayors of both St. Paul and Minneapolis are here to talk about the first Mayor's Cup hockey game and how you can get in on the fun this weekend. The state of hockey, that'll be a really good thing.
Oh, yeah. We love hockey.
We do. First, though, we do have to chat with Jamie because it's 41.
It's 41 degrees
41
outside.
degrees.
Can you believe that?
January, what is the date?
28th. January 28th.
Yeah.
Yep, we're approaching February, which is going to be looking much colder than the way January is going out. So, yes, this is your January thaw. The temperatures, we're talking 30s and 40s this week for highs. Unlike last week where, boy, there were some days we couldn't even get above zero. But right now we are seeing more or less a clearing trend taking place with our morning clouds, a lot of sunshine out there. That's going to affect the temperatures, especially if you don't have snowpack. And we will be talking about losing some snowpack as well. But right now, 42 degrees. We're up to 42 right now. Feeling like 34, yeah, with a west wind at 17 miles an hour. It's not that wind where you feel like you're losing hours and days off your lifespan because it's minus 34. No, this is a 34 degree feel like temperature. Much better, much better. And looking ahead to your afternoon into those evening hours, the numbers aren't going to move much. Like I said, it's going to be a rather warm week coming up. Chance of a record high. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast, but in the meantime, hang on to your hat. It is going to be a windy day, but it is that wind that is going to keep the temperatures running through the upper 30s and low 40s for much of the region. Take a look at when this mild weather, though, when it comes to an end. That's coming up in the 7-day.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Thanks, Jamie. Well, if you live in Northeast Minneapolis, you could be in the voting booth today. The special session to fill the District 60 state Senate seat is happening right now. Our Michelle Beck shows us how today's results will tip the scales.
What happens in Northeast Minneapolis today will be consequential, not just for this district, but the entire state. Previously holding the seat for District 60 was Senator Kerry Dietzig. The former DFL majority leader passed away last month, leaving the chamber to start the legislative session with a temporary tie of 33 Republicans to 33 Democrats. For the last 2 weeks, the two parties figured out how to share their power. Senator said their cooperation will continue in part because the late Senator Dietzig had talked a lot about Minnesotans treating each other with respect. A lot of work here to get done, especially as this year lawmakers will be required to pass a budget. When polls close at 8 o'clock, that'll be our first step in learning where things go from here, which party will take majority control, and again, how things shape out. Back to you.
Thanks to Michelle for that. Also in the Senate, there's a push to expel State Senator Nicole Mitchell. In the past 24 hours, a motion failed after Democrats blocked it from a vote. The DFL senator is charged with felony burglary, accused of breaking into her stepmother's home. Republicans say she's tarnished the Senate, while Democrats say she deserves due process.
We're going to take this as a one case situation here, work on it from body. I think this is serious enough that we need to address it immediately. And that's what we try to do today.
There are very fundamental principles, American principles, innocent until proven guilty, due process under the law, her right to represent the people who elected her.
A judge postponed Mitchell's trial until after the legislative session ends in May. Over in the Minnesota House, the DFL continues to boycott over the lack of a power sharing agreement. The Republicans have a temporary majority, but the High Court just ruled it doesn't have enough votes to conduct official business. A special election isn't expected until at least March. Now to the nation's capital, where President Donald Trump has signed more executive orders overnight, taking steps to pause all federal spending. An internal memo from the White House Office of Management and Budget orders federal agencies to freeze all federal aid starting at 5 tonight. The Trump administration is calling it a temporary pause to determine the best use of funding. There's also a new batch of orders directed at the military. For the second time, Trump banned transgender people from serving in the military. He also reinstated and gave back pay to service members who refused the COVID-19 vaccine, and he signed an order gutting the military's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Those new policies at the Pentagon coinciding with Pete Hegseth's first day as Secretary of Defense. Meanwhile, U.S. House Republicans are challenging sanctuary cities, or places where local authorities won't look for people who have come to the country illegally. The House Oversight and Government Reform Committee says it's investigating these places. Its chair saying they're hindering efforts to remove dangerous criminals. But the San Jose mayor says local authorities in his city do arrest undocumented immigrants if they commit other offenses. He says city police just don't have the bandwidth to both enforce immigration laws and respond to 911 calls from residents. Now to this, we just got new details into our newsroom about what happened when a Minnesota woman died while skydiving in Arizona. Leaders with the company Skydive Arizona say Ann Wick had previously gone on more than 250 skydiving jumps. On the trip last Friday near Phoenix, witnesses say the jump seemed normal at the beginning, with her parachute deploying as expected. The company says witnesses then saw the parachute canopy turning, but no corrective actions were taken, and a reserve parachute was never deployed. Skydive Arizona says it's cooperating fully with authorities. Well, take a look at these posters. They're the reason we expect to see a packed house at tonight's Lakeville School Board meeting. District officials are expected to decide if the inclusive poster series should be removed from schools. Audrey Russo shows us where the controversy stems from.
Tonight's vote is just another step in a near 4-year battle to get these posters removed from the Lakeville School District. This is what they look like. They've got messages about diversity and the phrase Black Lives Matter. School officials say 3,000 of them were put up in 2021, and the controversy started pretty much right away. A lawsuit was filed by parents who say their requests for Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter posters were rejected. The lawsuit itself was dismissed in 2023, but a federal appeals judge reinstated it this past June. And in that time, there's been turnover on the Lakeville School Board. 2 newly elected members were supported by the Minnesota Parents Alliance. They're an interest group concerned about activism at the expense of academics. That's a direct quote we found on their website, where they give both the newly elected school board members, along with a sitting board member here in Lakeville, their official stamp of approval. Tonight's meeting begins at 7 o'clock, but if you were hoping to attend for this particular issue, be prepared to sit and wait for a little while. On the agenda, it's listed pretty far down on the schedule after the public comment period. And by the way, if you wanted to make a public comment and you haven't registered to do so yet, you're out of luck. The deadline for that was noon yesterday. Back to you.
Thanks to Audrey for that. In Eden Prairie, parents and families are pushing for the district to make a change to this year's graduation date. Raya Katene tells us why.
Some Eden Prairie parents and families are frustrated with the school district's decision to schedule a graduation ceremony on the same day as a major Muslim holiday. Eden Prairie High School's graduation is planned for June 7th at U.S. Bank Stadium, the same date as Eid al-Adha, one of only 2 major Muslim holidays. The district does not track religious affiliations, but the Muslim American Society of Minnesota estimates that roughly 20% of Eden Prairie High School's almost 3,200 students are Muslim. When making their decision, the school district says they met with 2 cultural liaisons and 4 local Muslim faith leaders known as imams. They also sent a graduation survey in November asking for the community's input, and they say they will continue working to make the ceremony an inclusive celebration.
Today, the executive director for Twin Cities Pride will talk with Target for the first time since cutting ties with the Minnesota-based company. Twin Cities Pride ousted Target from its annual parade and festival following the company's decision to end its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Cutting them out is a costly move for the organization because Target was a $50,000 sponsor. But take a look at this. In just 24 hours, a fundraiser called Fill the Gap has raised more than what was missed. Right now, it's at more than $68,000.
This is bigger than a donation. This is bigger than just changing a policy. This impacts people's lives. We have to stand up. If we're going to be an ally, we need to be an ally, even when it's tough.
The executive director for Twin Cities Pride says he's willing to listen and is hopeful Target will change course. We reached out to the company for a response, but didn't hear back.